Hi, second grade mathematicians. Today's number is going to focus on if we have more or less. So let's look at the directions. Explain that you're going to revisit the variation of today's number called more or less, and that you will be thinking about whether the answer to a subtraction problem is more than 50 or less than 50. So over here we have 70 minus 21 equals, So I want you to think about what strategies you have to figure out if the answer is more or less than 50. So you might start by taking 70 in your head and subtracting 20, which equals 50. But we have to subtract one more. So the answer is going to be less than 50 because we get 49, right? Okay. So the next screen, we're going to do the same thing again with 90 minus 42. So the question is the answer more than 50 or less than 50? So I'm going to pause the screen here, and I want you to think about your answer to this problem and subtract to find out the answer. Pause the video here so you can work on this problem now. All right. So I know many of you took 90 and you subtracted 40 and got 50, right? But we're not subtracting 40, we're subtracting 42. So we have to take 50 and then subtract 2. So I know 50 minus 1 is 49. And I know that 50 minus 2 is 48. So this answer is less than 50 because we got 48. One way to check our answer is to add 48 plus 42 to see if we get 90. And if we get 90, then we know that our answer is correct. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add the 8 and the 2 together. I'm going to start with the ones place. So I know that 8 plus 2 equals 10. And then next, I'm going to add 40 plus 40. And I know that this isn't a 4, it's a 40 because it's in the tens place. 40 plus 40 equals 80. And then 10 plus 80 equals 90. So our answer is correct. You can check that off. All right. So there are lots of ways to think about the problems that you're going to be solving today. So make sure you're using break apart. You're choosing the strategies that work best for you. All right, so we're going to start on the pennies and stickers page 528 together. And the first problem says 85 minus 38, and we're going to subtract 85 minus 38. All right, so what strategies do you have for subtracting 85 minus 38? Well, there's lots of different ways to solve this, but what I want to do is I want to split up the 85 into a 70 and a 15. And the reason why I want to do that is because I can't take away 8 from 5, okay? Because if you have 5 stickers and I ask you for 8, you can't give me 8 stickers. So that's why I'm going to borrow 10 from the tens place. And I'm going to change the 80 into a 70 because I took away 10 because I needed 10 on a loan for my friend. So 70 minus 15. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm also going to break up the 38 into a 30 and an 8, okay? So I can start with the ones or the tens. I'm going to start with the tens first. So 70 minus 30 equals 40, right? And I can check that by saying, okay, is 30 plus 40 70? Yes, it is. Okay, I know that I'm on the right track. And then I'm going to subtract 15 minus 8. And I know that my answer is 7. And I know that it's 7 because 8 plus 7 equals 15. Okay, so now I'm going to take these two numbers and I'm going to put them together, right? Because I just have an 8, a 40, and a 7, and I need to put them back together. So my answer is 47. All right. So could we follow this same rule for the next problem? Let's find out. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to erase this. Okay. Now, problem number 4 says 62 minus 45. So if I look at my ones place and I'm like, oh no, I can't take away 5 from 2, I can break this up into a 12 and a 50, right? Because I know that 50 plus 12 equals 62. So I can do this. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to break apart 45 into a 40. Into a 40 and a 5. So I'm going to do 50 minus 40 equals 10. And then 12 minus 5 equals 7, right? So then I'm going to add these two together because they're just broken up right now into the tens and the ones. So my answer is 17. And this is page 528, 3 and 4. So before you start playing the game Break Apart, you need to complete page 527, 529, and 530. Next, I'm going to teach you how to play a game on gregtang.com called Break Apart. We are at gregtangmath.com, and over here this is all ads, so we don't want to click on these. We want to focus on the information that's just right here. So we have a couple of choices when we play this game. We can play with addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. So to play the game Break Apart, to enter a number in a box, you're going to click one of the 4 numbers on the bottom. The boxes must be answered in order. Only the box with the question mark can be completed. Incorrect answers are not accepted and add a 5-second penalty to your final time. So you don't want to rush and just click any number because it won't help you learn. If you ever get stuck and need help, click on the hint button to eliminate one of the incorrect answers. And each hint adds 5 seconds to your time. So you only want to use that if you absolutely need it. So let's start with addition. And we have a couple of different options here. So we could practice doubles, easy or hard. We could practice make 10, easy or hard. Make 100, easy or hard. And partial sums, easy or hard. So let's start with make 10 easy. So the question is 8 plus 4 equals, So the strategy is to first make 10. And we know that we need to add 2 to make 10. And the rest is 2 because we broke up the 4 into a 2 and a 2. So the answer is 8 plus 2 is 10. 10 plus 2 is 12. All right, so let's say I wasn't sure how to do this. I can click on the hint. Oh, it took away a number. Okay, so 7 plus 9. First, we want to make 10. So we know that 7 plus 3 equals 10, and the rest is 6 because we're breaking up the 9 into a 3 and a 6. Does that make sense? Because 7 plus 3 equals 10, and then 10 plus 6 is 16. So the reason why we want to make 10 is because then we take the leftovers and we can add them super easily because we know that 10 plus another number is easy to and quick to figure out. Okay? So make 10, I'm going to break up the 3 into a 1 and a 2. So I know that 9 plus 1 is 10, and 10 plus 2 is good. All right, so now I'm going to break this up into a 2 and a 4, and I know that equals 14. Okay, so I'm going to break this up into a 1 and a 1 because 9 plus 1 is 10, 10 plus 1 is 11. Okay, so I remember I got 5 seconds of penalty time because I asked for a hint. Okay, all right, so we're playing this again. Let's say we're thinking, okay, we need a little bit more of a challenge. Oh, I'm going to go back to the link. That it would be in Google Classroom. So we're going to go back to addition, and let's try make 100. So this is the same thing. We're adding 80 plus 40, and we want to make 100 first. So the 40 is going to be a 20 and a 20 because I know that 80 plus 20 is 100, and I broke up the 40 into a 20 and a 20. Does that make sense? So the answer is 120. Okay, so 60. First I want to make 100, so I know 60 plus 40 is 100. And I have 30 left, so it's 130. All right, okay, let's finish this game. So I'm going to break the 60 into a 50 and a 10, so that's 110. A 20 and a 10 because 80 plus 20 is 100, and I have 10 left over. Okay, so I know I need 60 and a 10 because 40 plus 60 is 100, and I have 10 left, so I have 110. Okay, so if I want to make, I just click on menu if I want to go back. So let's say I want to try subtraction, make 10. So I would subtract 2 here to make 10. And then I know I need to subtract 6 more. So my answer is 10, 4. Okay? All right, Super Squirrels. You get the idea. Good luck.